Hey, what is up guys, Digirex here, and before I start this video I just wanted to say that I'm sorry for the lack of uploads. I was on vacation, but uploads will continue as normal now, and today we're doing a video on a review for the Vortex, the vendor roll that you can get from Lakshmi, the future war cult vendor here, for 150 legendary marks. Not that. Right here, 150 legendary marks, you can get this roll, and this is the roll I will be doing the review on today. So I hope you guys enjoy. So guys, the role that this fusion rifle has, it has reflex sight, red dot, ORA, and OEG. These doesn't really matter, just whatever you want. Hip fire, which is pretty good for fusion rifles, accelerated coils, braced frame, lightweight, and then you got Eye of the Storm. I'm running accelerated coils for PvP mostly, but I don't run it for PvE because it doesn't do as much damage, and you can really afford the extra charge time in PvE just because you don't have guys hectically shooting at you like the NPCs in PvE. Just you can afford the extra charge time because they're not as fast to react as players in PvP or anything. So yeah, you can afford the extra charge time. That's why I'm running this in PvE. So we're going to start off the review in PvE here, and honestly I don't have much to say about this fusion rifle at all. It's just kind of common. I mean, it's a fusion rifle. Overall, fusion rifles aren't that good in PvE. They don't really pack a punch just because they can't get critical shots like snipers, so this makes them really bad for doing damage on bosses or majors and stuff like that. And this fusion rifle really doesn't pack much of a punch at all. It has a pretty I can't even talk. It has a pretty fast charge time, but it doesn't really have much impact. So that makes it rough for taking out even higher level stuff, more bulkier stuff. It can take out stuff like the Scions you see here, but that's just because these guys have pretty much no health, and even with the charge time it's not worth it because you can pretty much take a Scion out with one shot of almost any scout rifle, definitely any high impact scout rifle, and not to mention that this fusion rifle really doesn't have much range, which is kind of annoying when I'm trying to take out enemies that are a little bit further away that I could take out with my scout rifle. And this comes into a big play in PvP where range matters a ton on these rifles because you can't be getting in too close with shotguns and stuff like that, but we'll get into the PvP later. This fusion rifle really doesn't pack a punch. Fusion rifles aren't really good in PvE anyway, just because they can't get critical damage on bosses. They don't really pack a punch, and you can carry a lot of ammo for them, which is a good thing. And this gun has a high ammo reserve, which is good. And as you see, I can spray down Scions, but I can't really get two with one shot like you probably can with some other fusion rifles, higher impact fusion rifles, if you line them up right. So this really just doesn't pack a punch. It doesn't have the worst charge time. It still has some charge time, which, like I said, doesn't make it as good as a sniper where you can just empty a few shots into a bulkier boss and kill them just by that. But yeah, overall, I'm going to rate this gun a 4 out of 10 in PvE. Let's move on to PvP. Alright guys, so in the back you're going to be seeing some PvP gameplay, and honestly I'm really not impressed with this fusion rifle in PvP. The reason I picked it up for my legendary marks was because I thought this weapon would be a little bit better in PvP because it has a charger fast rate. I really hate those super slow to charge fusion rifles in PvP because it feels like if you don't hit your shot you're pretty much dead instantly because you don't have enough time to charge up and fire another shot of your fusion rifle. But now this one is total opposite. If you miss your fusion rifle shot, you definitely will probably have enough time to follow it up with something, but normally this fusion rifle isn't going to kill with one burst unless you're extremely accurate or they're extremely close, because this roll in particular really doesn't have too much accuracy, and hip fire doesn't help that much. And like you saw there, I emptied a burst to him head on, and it barely did more than a little bit more than half his health, which really sucked. And that was pretty close too, so the range on this really hurts it, and hip fire helps a little bit, but honestly I don't hip fire too much with fusion rifles just because I like the scope. It gives me a little bit more accuracy. I just like scopes, they help me aim in, and in a lot of this gameplay you'll see me finishing off enemies with melees just because they're that close, and I still couldn't kill them with one burst of this. So honestly, I wouldn't even bother picking this up, and I'm just telling you guys this straight away because normally I review guns that I think are really good, and I thought this was going to be super good. Like, see, even at that range, that was like one of the only times I got a one-shot kill, and he was rushing at me with the shotgun. He was extremely close. So this weapon, I don't know what I would even rate it in PvP. It's going to be bad, probably even like a 5 out of 10, because I did manage to kill some people, but honestly it does 34 per bolt, which is really bad. And if you guys didn't know, you have 200 health in PvP. So guys, you need to hit 6 of those bolts with this fusion rifle to kill, and that is just unacceptable because fusion rifles only fire 7, so you need to be deadly accurate with this. Even though it has a pretty fast charge time, it still isn't worth it, just because you have to hit 6 out of 7 of your shots to actually kill with this thing. Normally on a fusion rifle you could hit 5, and this you have to hit 6, which really sucks. Maybe even 4 for some of those super high impact fusion rifles. But that's going to be the video, guys, and overall I would rate this weapon a 5 out of 10 in PvP, and that would give the overall a 4.5 out of 10. That's the average. So I hope you guys enjoyed this weapon review. Subscribe if you like Overwatch, Pokemon Go, Destiny, The Division, Call of Duty, or Big Titties. This has been Digi, guys. I hope you have a good day, and peace.